Hi everybody, new video from Big Apple Pipes. This week it's not me talking about pipe and tobacco because this time it's an interview. I had the pleasure to interview Per Jensen at MacBaren Tobacco Company, so it will be mostly him talking about pipe tobacco. It all started from petition that I sent, that I launched in Italy to ask MacBaren to consider distributing the HH line in Italy as well, just because it's a line of product which I think it's unbelievably good. I like it a lot, so it would be great to have it in Italy as well. And he was kind enough to be available to answer some of my questions and just have a nice chat about not only MacBaren but pipe tobacco in general. At the end of the day, it was a 2 hours conversation, so it's pretty long. Therefore, I have decided to split it into 3 parts, so it's easier for you to watch it, to follow. I'm sure that when you have videos that are so long, maybe you don't want to watch them all at once. So it's easier to just watch the three separate episodes. In this first one, we will focus more about his personal history, how he managed to become head blender at MacBaren, and we will start talking about pipe tobacco, which we will focus more on the topic on the second episode, and the third one will be dedicated to the HH line of products. So let me know what you think about the interview, what you think about the chat in general, and that's it. I mean, let me know in the comments what you think. And now I just want to I hope you will enjoy the interview.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, Per. I just wanted to thank you for your time and for your availability of being here. Again, this will be mostly for the Italian viewer, but I don't know if you know it. I also have an international channel, so I will probably put it also on my English channel. Having you here, it's a very great opportunity, so I will try to do as much as I can. Before starting and giving you the word, I just wanted to mention one thing that to me it's very, very important. I will take the next few days, of course, to put Italian subtitles on this video. So I just wanted to mention that. I consider myself a little fluent in English. I will try the best to translate whatever you say. I'm not a professional translator, but what I wanted to say to you, and I will also say it in Italian to the viewer, that the responsibility of translating is in me. So if you think that whatever Per is saying is, I don't know, insulting, which cannot be the case because he's such a kind and gentle person, that will never be the case, or offensive, or you don't agree with, just first take it on me, comment, ask myself, and then maybe we can find out that I haven't translated properly. But let's do it this way. And I will say this in Italian as well, also at the beginning of the video, in which I will make a little introduction aside. So again, thank you. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, and I'm glad to be here. And please feel free to use me on English, on Italian, in whatever language you like to.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You know a bit English. I know a bit English. Doesn't matter as long as we know the same bit.
Yeah, as long as we can understand each other.
Yeah.
So you have been kind enough, because I have sent you a list of, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 questions. That's definitely a very long list. So I was hoping you were not scared by it, and you're not. So thank you.
No.
I don't think we will be able to go over all of them, especially because I don't want to do like a back and forth question answer. I just want to have a nice conversation with you. So I will have those questions as a reference, just to stay in topic as much as we can. But as pipe smokers do, we will just keep talking and talk about whatever we like. And then sometimes we will
go see back where to it leads us. Yeah.
Okay. So I know I know you. I invited you because I know who you are, and you are very well known in the pipe world. But I'm pretty sure that maybe not many Italian smokers knows who Per Jensen is, especially because you have several videos on YouTube. They're very nice. I like them, but they are in English, and there are not many English speakers in Italy. So if you just want to introduce a little bit yourself, and then I have a few questions about your life and career in general.
Yeah. Well, my name is Per. I work for MacBaren. I'm 62 years old, and before I started at MacBaren in 2001, I was producing pipes. Meaning I was actually born into a pipe factory, which my father and mother founded, and spent my first years doing very simple jobs, important jobs, but very simple jobs, like sweeping the floors and stuff like that. And later on, I came into the production of pipes, and went all the 80 workstations we needed to finish a pipe. I was working at all 80 over a period of three years.
Okay.
And then I was just even when we were at head of the company, we were still in the production.
Okay.
So I was never used to be sitting behind a table and just working there.
Okay, so you were
I have
working,
always
you were
been
making pipes.
Using my hands to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Georg Jensen, right? Sorry, that was
it was
Georg Jensen. Okay.
And we sold the company in the year 2000, and in 2001 in October I came to MacBaren to work for them.
And how was that the transition?
So
how was the transition for you? How did you come out with the idea of moving from pipe making to tobacco making, actually?
That was actually quite easy. Because we sold the company, and I stayed in the company afterwards, but very soon found out that the new management and myself, well, were not working that good together. Not a good cooperation. So I started an education. So in the evenings, something completely new, computer technology. And 2 years in that education, I would need a reference. So I could write one myself, but if I also have to sign it, I'm sure nobody would believe it. So I wrote to MacBaren, for who I have been making colleges for over 4 years, still at the pipe factory, but came over when they have a college to educate people in pipes. And I called the managing director of MacBaren and asked if he would give me references.
Okay.
And he said, yes, of course. And then 1 week later, he called and said, what do you need a reference for? It sounds like you're looking for a new job. And I said, well, yes, that is the fact. So why don't you come and work for us? Because we have a product specialist, but he's going he was going to
retire.
To retire and enjoy his pension, and so they needed a new one, and that became me.
Nice. Okay.
So I almost have 20 years now by MacBaren.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit. And 23 years with pipes and 20 years by MacBaren.
Okay, that's a very complete experience. And when it's regarding tobacco blending, I always have one question, because it's as a pipe smoker, I think like most of pipe smokers have very little idea about how tobacco is actually made, and especially that's another thing that there is no school for that. It's not that you can go and you can do the tobacco university or the tobacco high school and learn blending, learn processes. And each factory, each brand has its own secret still now in 2020. So how was the process? You already did some blending by yourself? You had some raw knowledge, or you learned everything from scratch at MacBaren?
No, you could say that the advantage I had when I came to that position at MacBaren that I knew everything from, not everything, but I knew a lot about the pipe side. And of course, smoking pipe myself, and so on. So that kind of questions was actually never a big task for me, because I knew it.
Okay.
What I didn't knew, that was
Yeah.
the tobacco.
Yeah, exactly.
So back to school and start learning.
So everything
again,
at MacBaren, yeah.
Yeah, and of course I got a lot of literature, and but what the literature didn't tell, that
Yeah.
was how the tobacco tastes.
Okay. So maybe you can give me
For
at the end
instance,
of
you
the
could
maybe.
a smoky note. No, please
No, no,
come.
no, please, no. Finish. It's nothing important. So you're saying, for instance, a smoky note.
Yeah. If for instance you find a word, it's spicy. What does that mean? What
Yeah.
is spicy? Is spicy, is that hot?
Yeah.
Meaning you're burning your mouth?
Yeah.
Or is it just adding something else to the blend, or whatever is it?
Yeah.
And there's only one way to try that, and that is to let it roll over your tongue.
Yeah.
And taste it, and make your own impressions of what kind of tobacco is this.
Yeah.
And then years later started with what will happen if we combine this with that. And I tell you, I made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, it's normal.
Things that didn't taste like I thought it would. But it was a challenge.
Yeah.
And slowly, I would say after 5 years, that was also when I made the first HH blend, the vintage Syrian.
Okay.
There I got the hang of it, how to blend and why a tobacco bites and so on. And I didn't want to make any tobacco that bites. Even you'll always find people who will say this tobacco bites me.
Yeah.
But it was not created to do that. And for 90% of the people, it doesn't bite.
Yeah, of course, you may have particular
It depends on
sensitivity.
how sensible is your tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was
Have
mentioning
you
maybe.
ever tried to smoke a pipe and then?
Yeah.
No, please come.
No, at the end, maybe you can give me some reference for literature, because, for instance, if you try studying tobacco and literature, you also find many different, especially pipe tobacco, many different versions of the same, especially regarding processes, tobacco processes, how they're made. For instance, you can find several different versions of how Perique is made, or Kentucky is made, or Burley is cured, or Cavendish. So you don't really find, let's say, a sort of truth. It's there is a lot of rumors, a lot of version, but it seems to me that the truth is only in the hands of the blenders, and they just keep it with them.
Yeah. Well, the best book is not available at the moment.
Okay.
Because that's the one I'm going to write.
Oh, nice! That's beautiful. Nice to hear. That's I really will. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll see if I get that far. But you can only learn so much by reading.
Yeah.
It's like driving a car.
Okay.
You can read all about the car. You can read all about the rules for driving and so on and so forth. But you first get the hang of it when you sit in the car and you try to drive.
Okay. Nice.
Before that, it's just theory. And I'm not a theoretical man. I'm a practical man.
Yeah, you came from
work. It was learning by doing.
Okay, nice.
Try to mix this, try to mix it with that, and try to smoke it. And then make the experiences.
Nice.
This is not good. This could be better. If perhaps I like a bit of the undertone, perhaps we can do that a little bit stronger, and so on. And that's also what the third generation of the Halberg family, which owns MacBaren. We're a family-owned company.
Yeah.
Jørgen Halberg, who invented the mixture,
Oh.
he said there is only one measurement you can do about tobacco. And that is smoke it and let your tongue decide.
Yeah.
And if you're not satisfied, remix it, try again. And keep trying until you got what you wanted. And that's even in nowadays with all these scientific measurement machines for doing that and this, the tongue is still
the best
instrument you should use. Yes, it's the only one. It's the only one. And even if I describe a taste for you, you would probably comprehend it in another way.
Of course.
Than what I mean.
Yeah.
Because discussing taste is one of the most difficult thing to do in the world.
Yeah, we were just talking a few minutes ago before starting the recording about the Amphora Virginia that you're smoking and you're enjoying. Yeah. And you also said that it's one of your favorite tobacco. And I really didn't have the same experience. I really didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
But it is very appreciated in Italy, actually. Many people like it. So.
Yeah. And you can say if everyone had the same taste, you only need one tobacco.
Exactly. Yeah, I always say that. I mean, every time people do not agree with me with my review, which is perfectly fine. I'm not there to teach anything to anybody. I'm just there to talk a little bit about it. I always say, I mean, that's fine. It's totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's your opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's always what I try to tell pipe smokers. If they are reading reviews, make sure that you have more or less the same taste as the reviewer.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you go completely wrong when you buy tobacco.
Yeah.
You have to try a couple of the tobaccos that he has reviewed, and then you say, that's my taste.
Yeah, one thing that I like doing is also, when I smoke a tobacco, then I go and read the review, maybe while I'm smoking it, and I see if there is anybody that goes close to whatever I'm feeling, and just to see if what else they say and see if I can go further. But it's difficult to take a review in advance without anything. So, any knowledge. So.
Because you are in the hands of the reviewer.
Yeah, you don't know. Sometimes you read things that are totally off. If you read about a tobacco, sometimes you read things that are like, I mean, probably, I don't know, it's totally wrong. But that's what it is.
Yeah, or you can say, well, this reviewer is not my taste. So if he don't like it, I might. Yeah. But you have to know your own taste.
Yeah.
That's the basic.
Absolutely true. So okay, yeah, I have here the list of questions just to see, and you answered many of the things. One thing I wanted to ask you, this I'm very curious, and you said a little bit already. What is the most the things that surprised you the most of tobacco blending, coming as an experience from pipe smoker, something that you would have never imagined? And then you find out it was like, wow, this is made like this, or wow, or this tastes like this. Because, for instance, one thing that I always say in my video is that it's very hard to describe, for instance, this is just an example, the taste of the Oriental's tobacco, because there are so many. And they are all very often blended together. So when you talk about Orientals, it's difficult to say, oh, Orientals taste like this. They give you depth, they give you a lot of tones to the mixture, but it's very hard to just simply detect that exact tobacco. And this is just an example. So what is, as a blender, the thing that surprises you the most coming from just a purely pipe smoking experience?
Well, it was not as I would say as a blender, but it was when I started reading about tobacco.
Okay.
I found out how many beautiful stories are in tobacco.
Yeah, that's
And,
true.
and over half of them are not true, but they sound very good.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, and I also came upon there are no scientific measurement.
Exactly. I always say that it's like if you do like steel production or any kind of those, the steel has certain temperature. You have to treat it. Tobacco is totally empirical still now. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
that's amazing.
Nobody measured it,
Yeah.
and the only way we measured it is by taste. And that
Yeah.
is the tongue.
Okay.
To feel how does it taste, and try to describe that.
Yeah.
But I think that was my biggest surprise.
Okay.
I
So
had
you
thought,
thought there
well,
was
coming
more
into
science.
yes, more or less.
Okay.
But at the other hand, then we had to do the science ourselves because I was curious.
Of course.
For instance, why does a tobacco bite? And I asked the questions, and nobody knew it until we isolated and found out that is because of the pH value
Okay.
in the tobacco. If you take, for instance, a Virginia, has a pH value of about 5.
Okay.
So it's a sour smoke. Burley is 7, is more or less neutral. And cigar tobacco is above 7, it's alkalic. So you say sugar in Virginia and you think sweet.
Yeah.
But if the temperature rises when you're smoking the tobacco, then the sugar goes from sweetness and turns into acid. And that is what bites your tongue, what irritates your mouth.
Yeah. Temperature.
So when we are mixing today, we are thinking a lot about pH values. Knowing that each pipe smoker has a different body chemistry.
Yeah.
So you take the same tobacco with a certain pH value and give it to 10 smokers. And 2 of them will come with complete other results of the tasting than the 8 others.
Yeah.
So it's not only the tobacco, it's also the smoker himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
And
recently, please go ahead.
No, that's what I find so fascinating. That we can make what you perhaps would call a uniform tobacco.
Yeah.
But it's so different from smoker to smoker.
It is. It is. Yeah.
And even
For instance, no, go ahead. Even
the mental state. Just to give you an example, Sunday morning, you're sleeping for a long time, wake up in bed, and you are served breakfast in bed. It's a fantastic start. And after that, you take your pipe and your favorite tobacco and you smoke it. And the world cannot be any better. Monday morning, you come up and you stay up a little bit too late. So out of bed too late, take a shower, quickly have something to eat, and then you start your pipe. Same pipe, same tobacco. But I promise you, those 2 experiences will be different.
Yeah.
The Sunday was just perfect, was just beautiful. And the Monday morning was, not that good.
Yeah.
So also the state of mind is very important.
Yeah, I think it's also the same with pipes. Maybe sometimes you have a pipe that you don't really like that much. Maybe it was a gift, so you smoke it and you think, okay, yeah, it's quite average. Or maybe you buy a pipe that you love, and therefore, since you love it, you think it smokes fantastic. And that's it's just the whole experience, the entire experience of pipe smoking. So.
Yeah, and the worst thing is when you get a pipe as a gift from your wife or your close family.
Yeah.
and you don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Don't
always
go
my case.
you don't go to you don't go to the shop and exchange it for something else
Yeah,
because you got it as a gift.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a small thing about pipes. We all have different teeth, so the width of a mouthpiece, if that is too broad, it will cover too many teeth, and then it will not sit right in the mouth.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I would almost say if you look at all your favorite pipes, they have more or less the same width in mouthpiece.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, because it fit your teeth.
Yeah,
It's like buying a pair of jeans.
that's true.
You never know if they fit.
Yeah, you have to try
But
it
if you
and,
found one and you go back and say, I like 3 pair of that
yeah,
because they fit me,
absolutely.
then you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was mentioning just recently, I smoked the Park Lane 7. My tobacco, of course, I smoked a lot of times also in the past. And this time I couldn't finish the pouch because it was burning my whole mouth. I couldn't smoke it. Even after smoking it for like a few days, I had my mouth completely irritated. And I did the review, and of course, many people, because it's a very popular tobacco, like didn't agree with me. Told me, it's a great, I love it. I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm sure I also had great memory about this tobacco, but I just couldn't smoke it. It was hurtful. I mean, like even as much as I tried to keep going, still I just couldn't. So probably something changed in the years. It was out of my reach just because I couldn't taste anything. It was burning like hell.
Yeah.
It happens. I mean,
Well,
it's
Yeah, and could have many reasons.
Yeah.
Could also be if they have changed the tobaccos. But I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So
But that's one of the advantages of getting older. That is your taste buds are getting a little bit slower. They're not working that good anymore. So what you couldn't eat or smoke in your youth, you can perhaps do when you get older.
okay.
So there's still hope.
Okay, maybe I'll try again in a few years.
I wouldn't say that it works, but yeah.
I can give it a try. It's not a big deal. And okay, so now I have had a few questions about the pipe tobacco at MacBaren. As much as you can tell, I don't know. So let's see. And of course, we will talk later about the HH, which is a very important topic for me. So, what do you think is the status of the industry right now? The health, let's say, of the pipe tobacco industry. I know it's a very difficult industry, highly regulated, not many customers, let's say, but this is the perception that I may have as a consumer. For sure, you have more insight than that.
Yeah. Are you sure you want to hear of all my problems?
If you want,
No,
I can be your therapist for a little bit.
Yeah. No. We have challenges on a lot of levels. In general, the pipe tobacco market is decreasing, so around about 3% a year.
Okay.
And what we are very unhappy about is that we are put in the same group as cigarettes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the politician doesn't
Care.
have a different
Yeah.
view on pipe tobacco or cigarette. It is just all tobacco is not good.
Yeah.
In many countries, we still have different taxation. Normally, it means that pipe tobacco is cheaper than fine cut and cigarettes.
Okay.
But I think it's only until somebody in government say well, why don't we tax it all the same way?
Yeah.
It will be much easier. So that is a challenge. We never know, will it be true, or is
Yeah.
it just a challenge that we could think about?
Yeah.
What is very much coming, that is the track and trace.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah. I
probably
also
don't know
wanted.
track and trace.
I actually heard about it from another tobacco maker, but I don't know what it is. I know that it's coming. He also told me that it was quite expensive to get compliant with it, but I
Yeah,
don't know what it
yeah.
is.
Track and trace, that is a European law made in the European Parliament, that all tobacco products, right now it's cigarettes and it's fine cut,
Okay.
should have an individual number. It's like you are taking a plate, the plates of the cars, they are all different.
Okay.
So it should be with cigarettes and fine cut. So if you trace this number, a specific number, you can trace it back to the manufacturer.
Okay.
So this law was introduced to avoid smuggling.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they didn't make the agreement with the smugglers. So they will probably just copy one of the codes printed on their products, and then it looks a bit like, well, it has a track and trace number.
Yeah.
For the manufacturing, you have to imagine on our packaging machines, we pack the tobacco in the pouch, we close the pouch, and then it has to go in this printer where it gets its code.
Okay.
Once we are finished with the order for a specific customer, we have to relay all the numbers to Brussels, where they collect all the numbers.
Oh, I see.
And the codes are only valid for 48 hours from we get them until we use them and report them. So each pouch has a number. Then we pack the pouch into an outer of 5 pouches. That's a new unity. So that has to get a number as well.
Wow.
So that was the second printer for track and trace codes. The outers go into a shipping carton.
And also that one.
Again, a new unit, new number, a new printer. The shipping carton goes on a pallet. That's a new unit.
Yeah.
So if you scan the number on the pallet, it will open up. I have these numbers as shipping cases. I have these numbers as outers. And I have these outer numbers as pouches. So the pallets go on a truck to be transported somewhere. Again, that is a new unit.
Unbelievable.
So again, one number. So for fine cut and cigarettes, it was a tremendous work, and it cost a lot of money to get all the equipment. But that will also apply for pipe tobacco in 2024.
Okay.
So they have control. That means all tobacco products, also cigars.
And this will be only for Europe or also worldwide?
No, they have been very clever, because even if we send, for instance, to Malaysia, they have to have this code.
Because you produce in Europe.
We produce within the European Union. We sell it to Malaysia. And if those products suddenly turns out in somewhere in Europe, then they know something is not wrong. It's smuggling.
I see.
And that was the reason why they want to do it.
Okay, but for
have you
the
ever...
United States, Cornell and Deal, Sutcliffe, wherever, for the American market, they don't have that.
They don't. Only if they export.
If
to
they,
Europe.
of course, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, they don't have it. and that's for them. It's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever heard of anybody smuggling pipe tobacco?
No, I do think that there was some case in China, but I mean, in Europe, I don't think it's a very profitable market for smugglers either.
No.
So,
and still they want us to do this to prevent smuggling.
Of course.
Please don't ask about my personal opinion about this.
Yeah, no, I will not. But we share the same opinion. But
but it's just one of the challenges that we didn't ask for it. It doesn't provide you as a pipe smoker with any benefit.
Exactly.
It's just a lot of work and a lot of costs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't give anybody anything, unfortunately.
Yeah. Because also another thing that I believe is that it's becoming more and more difficult for anybody to just say, okay, maybe I want to start producing pipe tobacco. It's basically impossible. It's just a bad idea.
That will be impossible. And
unless you're very wealthy and you just want to do it as a hobby, but probably.
Yeah. but I'm sure nobody wants to do that because it's so regulated.
It is.
Even some of the smaller tobacco manufacturers today, they will have to cease production in 2024 because they are not ready to do it and they don't have the money to buy the equipment.
Yeah.
So
also another trend that I'm seeing is that it seems that the industry is concentrating. Now you have a handful of producers. You have MacBaren, you have STG, yes, you have the Gowitz. Then you have basically the Americans, Cornell and Diehl, Sutcliffe, Daughters and Ryan, just a few. And then you have the Germans. You have, of course, the biggest Colas and Coop, Planta, I believe, still produce. And that's it. Then you have the smallest one. Maybe you have Germans, whoever, Skurch in Switzerland, whoever but those are very small. So, and that's it, basically. You don't have many more.
No, that's right. And in 2024, some of them will disappear.
Wow.
Or sell to shall we say, to the bigger manufacturers.
Yeah.
And I'm almost sure, and that's a personal opinion, that nobody will start production of pipe tobacco again.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, we are seeing disappearing brands rather than new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very sad thing.
And it's an extremely sad thing because we at MacBaren or STG cannot handle that so many various tobaccos. It's impossible.
Yeah.
We could perhaps produce them, but who would care for them?
Yeah. Yeah, one thing that it's totally missing it's the culture of it. It's not just about the brands, the pipe brands. It's also about the cultivation, the harvesting of certain kinds of tobaccos that are just disappearing. And probably you know more than me about that. Certain kinds of Oriental. Of course, we have the big example of the Syrian Latakia. We were on the verge of losing Perique as well. And this is just because it's less and less profitable of doing it. It's a lot of work to produce tobacco, especially pipe tobacco, which is very different than cigar and cigarette tobacco. Those are much simpler products because you have less varieties of tobaccos involved. In pipe tobacco, you have so many that you want to put together. So also that is actually disappearing because now it's less and less about producing tobacco. So even in Italy, in the southern part, we had a very nice until 25 years ago production of Orientals that they actually became native of the southern Italy. And now it's totally gone. It's totally disappeared. And as much as the world don't care, that's a lot of knowledge and culture that is just lost. So we had, I think, little positive thing with the fact that we have, the Toscano cigar, that for many decades
Yes.
was a very popular, cheap cigar, but now everybody understood the actually historical value of producing such a very unique product. So now there is a lot of attention about the quality of this premium cigar, blah blah blah, and so on. But it's just a case
Yeah.
about pipe tobacco. Even as much as pipes are produced in Italy, nobody cares.
Yeah, and if you don't put a lot of emotion into
Yeah.
pipe tobacco, then it's just a product.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You have to put your emotions into it.
Yeah.
And might be a bad saying, but to burn for tobacco, as a person, you have to have the inner light. Say, we want to do this.
Yes,
But I
just
can
if you think about even producing flake tobaccos, all the length of the process, pressing tobacco, curing the tobacco, it's something that if you think about it, it's crazy in a way, because it's so much work, but still you do it because you love it.
And a lot of companies have, at least the bigger companies, even. Imperial Tobacco, where we bought the cap stands and so on. We bought the brands from Imperial. Yeah. And as I said in 2015, it was about time they came back to a tobacco company, a pipe tobacco company.
Yeah.
Because what they have done with the products was they were setting some person somewhere and just making decisions. Yeah. Didn't smoke a pipe himself, didn't care.
Didn't know anything.
Didn't know anything. So when they were making new amphoras, for instance, they said, "What do we have on the shelf?" Yeah. Then we just mix it a little bit different, and then we have a new blend.
Yeah.
And that's not the way to approach making a new product.
Yeah.
Because making a product, you have to want to achieve something. To make a new taste that perhaps the world haven't seen before. Like, for instance, I did with the Rustica.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a gamble because it was a complete other tobacco than what people are used to.
Yeah.
And it was fun, but it took a long time to develop it.
Yeah, I imagine.
Before
I have a few questions about
that. Where I could say, okay, this is it. Yeah, but sometimes you have to dare to go new ways.
Yeah.
And the big companies, they don't.
They don't. Yeah.
They just want to say, well, our bestseller, couldn't we teach all pipe smokers just to smoke that?
Yeah. But because that's still the idea. That is still the idea that you smoke just for smoking as cigarettes. There is still not the idea, unless you are a pipe smoker, that this is actually fine tasting, like you are tasting a whiskey or scotch, a very fine product. It's just about the taste, or a fine wine. So it's a different, nobody will call you an alcoholic if you appreciate premium whiskey or scotch, because you're there for the fine flavors that you can find there. But still, they treat pipe tobacco as it is, like just vice, purely nicotine. You just want that, which is totally different in reality.
Basically, pipe tobacco is stimulants. Like a good cup of coffee, you get caffeine, and that stimulates your body. The same does pipe tobacco, where you get the nicotine. But there's a big difference from smoking a pipe and then smoke cigarettes, because on cigarettes you get addicted. The most pipe smokers don't.
Yeah.
They smoke a pipe in the morning, then they go to work, they cannot smoke at work, and then they smoke a pipe again when they get back from work in the evening.
Absolutely, yeah.
That is not to do with the cigarette smoker. They need every second hour, they need to go to smoke a cigarette, because the addiction.
You need that, yeah.
So
and also again, you want to take your time to enjoy the smoke. So
yeah, You probably also tried to smoke a pipe where you didn't have the time to do it, but
Yeah.
you did it anyhow. It's not a pleasure.
Yeah, exactly. I stopped doing that.
Yeah, it's just smoke, and you don't get anything good out of it. And that is the advantage with a cigarette, because in 5 minutes
Yeah.
you're covered, and the thing is done.
Yeah.
Not so with a pipe.